The glucose goddess is back.
Jessie Inchauspé is a biochemist and best-selling author.
With a focus on nutrition and glucose management,
She provides simple, science-backed tips to improve our health.
80% of the population have glucose spikes every single day. And that's when problems start happening. From mental health to acne to faster aging, infertility, and PCOS, which is one of the leading causes of infertility in women. And the problem is we're in a situation where the food landscape is so toxic, and most of us just eat sugar and starches. But they're literally made up of glucose molecules.
Is there any such thing as good sugar?
No. So even all the fruit that we find today in supermarkets is not natural. Some people believe that if the sugar is coming from a fruit, for example, in a fruit smoothie, that's good sugar, but that's a total lie. And your body doesn't differentiate whether the sugar is in a fruit smoothie or the sugar is in a chocolate cake.
Are there any foods that have surprised you when you tested them?
Yes. I think the biggest ones are...
Wow. This begs the question then, is there a healthy way to consume sugar?
So these are 4 hacks that people can implement in their lives, and you're able to reduce your glucose spikes while still eating what you love.
And you took these hacks and did an experiment.
Yes, and 90% of people reduce their cravings, really significant impacts on sleep, hormones, mood, on diabetes.
And so what's going on with glucose?
The thing is, glucose has always been incredibly important to our health, but it's been going on behind the scenes. But now, with the technology that we have, glucose monitors, new science, we're actually able to get a real good handle on it and understand our diet through that lens. So most of us, Stephen, have unhealthy glucose levels. To give you an example, 1 billion people in the world have either type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. 1 billion. And that number is increasing every single day. And then in people who don't have any health issues, up to 80% of the population still has glucose spikes every single day. And this leads to lots of symptoms, from mental health problems to fertility to acne to faster aging. Glucose is really important, and I'm really happy that we're talking about it more.
What have you been surprised by how much people have woken up to glucose sugar?
Yeah, definitely. I think even the word glucose, people used to know blood sugar, but now the fact that people know what glucose is makes me quite happy. That's the scientific way to refer to blood sugar. It's surprising, but the thing is, I'm on the inside. I'm working every single day to make sure people know what glucose is. So it's like, when you put the frog in the water and then you slowly boil the water, that image, and the frog doesn't notice the water is boiling. That's how I feel, because I've been doing this for 5 years now. So I can tell now, if I compare today to 5 years ago, there's been a huge shift, but I've been looking at it every single day, day by day, and the increase has been very gradual.
How do you define yourself? There's this sort of name you go under, the glucose goddess, but professionally, if someone says, what do you do? How do you define that?
I say I'm a biochemist. Okay. I'm a biochemist, passionate about sharing science in a fun, accessible, sexy way. That's what I like to do.
These CGMs, continuous glucose monitors, that everybody seems to be wearing these days, they're much of the reason people, I guess, know you, because you post these incredible graphs on your Instagram showing the impact of the things we on our glucose levels.
Yeah.
Is there such a good thing as good sugar? Is there any such thing as good sugar?
No. People often believe that if the sugar is coming from a fruit and is for example, in a fruit smoothie that they might have in the morning, that's good sugar, but that sugar that's in a cake is bad sugar. So people tend to compare these two and say, oh, well, I'm having a fruit smoothie that's good for me, but oh, that chocolate cake would be bad for me. That's a total lie. It's all the same molecules. The molecules in that fruit smoothie and the molecules in that chocolate cake are the same. It's sucrose. It's the same stuff. And your body doesn't differentiate whether the sugar is in a fruit smoothie or the sugar is in a chocolate cake. So all sugar is the same. Even, honey, agave, maple syrup, all these things that have these health halos because of marketing, it's all the same molecules. So I recommend that people just have the sugar that they like best. Don't think that one is going to be better for you than the other. And have all sugar as dessert. So that fruit smoothie, that's also dessert. It's not super healthy because it comes from fruit. It's just like the chocolate cake.
And is there such a thing as good sweeteners and bad sweeteners?
Yeah, so there's a few categories. So the ones that seem to be really fine for us are stevia, monk fruit, and allulose. The ones that have been linked to quite a few health issues are aspartame, maltitol, sucralose. So, for example, aspartame, you usually find it in soda. Whereas stevia, you might buy a little packet at home and put it in your tea. That being said, the aspartame is still better for you than the real can of Coke with the 30 grams of real sugar.
So stevia is something that I shouldn't be.
No, stevia is good. Yeah, you shouldn't be too concerned. Do you use stevia?
I don't put any sweeteners in anything. I don't put sugar in anything either. So I'm trying to stay away. When I have coffee, it's just black coffee.
You don't even eat chocolate?
Of course, chocolate, maybe not so much. Maybe that's not my thing. But
what's your sweet thing?
Carrot cake. What's your sweet thing?
Oh, chocolate. I love chocolate. Like my favorite is like chocolate ice cream with a chocolate brownie and chocolate sauce and chocolate sprinkles. Anything chocolate.
That's not very glucose goddess.
Well, here's where you're wrong, Stephen. Okay. I'm actually not anti-sugar.
What are you talking about?
No, I love sugar. I eat sugar, I eat carbs all the time, but I want people to know what I know, which is how and when to eat those things.
That's the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for coming. It's really, really great to see you again.
No, but seriously, we need to learn how to eat these things because they're so delicious in a way that's less bad for our health. It's not about cutting them out. That would be a diet. I'm not pro diets. I'm pro knowledge. And I want to make sure people are not having sugar and dessert for breakfast. Sweet cereal in the morning and orange juice. That's dessert. Anyway, I'm all about just trying to empower people with the information so they don't get trapped by these marketing lies.